Your number 5 quarterback is
Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams. Right? I mean, Matthew Stafford was the guy I was kind of, I wanted to refer to a few times in that last segment without giving it up. I mean, everybody knew he was coming anyways. I don't know what I was really trying to hide.
It would have ruined the segue, so thank you for not doing that. Yeah.
But I mean, he is the guy, again, where you can change as a leader. You can change in your vocalness in the offense, right? You need maybe a little push from your coach, right? I mean, we've seen that. It's everybody. It's not naturally in everybody. Right? I didn't see Tom Brady yelling at anybody in New England early on in his career or at Michigan, right? But he started to realize, like, this is what needs to be done. Bill brings it out of him, right? This is your job. This is your offense. Yeah. Coach them. Tell them. I mean, they got to hear it from you, right? So then all of a sudden you get sick of hearing your coach all the time too, and you're just like, hey, yeah, you guys, you suck today. Get better, right? I mean, so you need somebody to draw it out of you. It's important. Stafford has, and you see it. You see it on film. You don't even need to see him mic'd up or one of these NFL films things, which is actually really entertaining too. Now, they're really good because McVay has diarrhea of the mouth like John Gruden. He can't shut up. Right? So he's in his ear like, and don't forget, and like Stafford's like, there's some clips on him in NFL films. He's like literally in the huddle going, you should hear this right now. He won't shut up. I mean, he won't shut up. And he's looking over and he's like, I'm good. And he won't shut up. I used to have to do that to Gruden. I used to literally have to wave my hand in the huddle, be like, shut up. I got to say the play. I can't hear you anymore. And you're up my whole mojo. I can't even think straight, right? So he has got that as my point. Little side story there. As you know, as we know, and you know what? Not everybody else knows, and hopefully they're starting to know, right? This is one of the greatest arms in NFL history. This is not just like, a great arm, and we're talking about him right now. This is one of the greatest arms in NFL history. Marinos, the Favres, the Rodgers, the Mahomes, right? Josh Allen. Anybody else I'm missing, no disrespect there, but it's in that class of a guy. I think that's where you got to start first off. Also, not only like one of the greatest arms in history, there's a difference here. One of the greatest throwers in history as well. You know me, I'm a little different there. Passer, thrower, all of that, right? Right? This guy has not only just I can throw, flamethrower all over the field and do like lasers and all that, but he's a passer. He's got incredible touch. He's got incredible anticipation, right? I mean, that's what's amazing. He rivals anyone in the NFL, as we talked about, with arm angles. I mean, arm angles, it's him, Mahomes, and Allen. There's nobody else that throws more sidearm, off their back foot sidearm. I mean, maybe even raise it up high, and it looks like a jump hook at times. I mean, he just does whatever he has to do to get the ball to where it needs to go.
And that's an ability, that's innate ability.
And yes.
To do something. I mean, because some people would say, well, just do that, right? These other quarterbacks are athletes. They can throw the ball. Just start doing that.
I know. It's like, it is a little bit of a gifted ability, and then it's a little bit of like, you got to practice it. You got to practice it. You got to have, okay, I'm going to go out in the field and throw like a machine for an hour, but you should also have like, hey, I'm going to do 20 or 30 throws where I got to kind of move and throw off platform, and hey, I got a guy running at me, right? And I got to throw it underneath his arm and do some of that stuff.
I mean,
it's a necessity this day and age in the NFL.
All it takes for some of these young quarterbacks to never do it again is to do it a couple of times in a game in college or high school, throw an interception. Their coach be like, you never do that again. What are you doing?
That's right, too. And you do. You could get scorned that way. But I think what they're realizing, what I realize, what anybody realizes, and what you're going to realize when you watch the top quarterbacks and go, well, damn, they get a lot of first downs because that guy moves his arm, right? And I'm on the bench because I was like, nope, I throw the ball like this, right? And then that ball got swatted back in your face and you're on the bench because now it's first down for the other team instead of first down for you. So, yes, it's almost – and then when we talk about some of the crazy blitzes, the RPOs that are going on in football and all that, if you don't have that, then you're just not that good at that part of your offense. You're not going to be that good against the blitz. You're not going to be that good in quick game. Right? Guys like Chris Jones have become mastered. Chris Jones can take on a guy man-to-man trying to get to the quarterback, and can also see the quarterback's drop with his peripheral vision and read it and go, oh, he stopped dropping. He's going to throw it quick. I'm going to get here and swat the ball like Dikembe Mutombo back into his face, right? So they've gotten to a different level, too, of those guys. That's where it's like the traditional, I'm Phil Simms or Jim Kelly, and I throw like that. You can't do that all the time anymore. You got to have some other things. things, right?
And I doubt your dad referred to himself in the third person like that, but you never know in the pocket. The game was different back then.
It was.
You never know. Hearing that back there.
That was the Bo Jackson era, so
Yeah.
they did that back then.
Right. So
But,
he was.
go ahead.
Sorry, not to
No.
ruin
No.
your mojo for my joke, but
No.
I just found it funny.
No, good.
He was number 10 last year. He was in the still a superstar tier with a question mark, and so I think he's answered that question because there were times last year where I was like, dang, is he not the MVP? What would the Rams be without him? I know they improved on defense, but he was carrying that team for a large portion of the
Even
end
the
of
year
the year.
before he was too. He just didn't stay healthy.
Right.
And that was one of the things I think why he was 10 last year too, because I was a little bit like, oh, he's getting up there. Can he stay healthy? Is he about to fall apart a little bit? That's what I was worried about.
That's what I thought too.
So I wasn't sure, and I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we're about to see kind of a drastic fall, right? Or like a Matt Ryan thing where we're like, oh, well, he's totally not the same guy he was last year, right? But that is not the case, and they ran the ball, and they got some O-linemen in there, and he got to show what he's all about once again.
You have had respect for Stafford for a long time. Pete notes here, the narrative on him is he won a Super Bowl. Can we blame his disappointing first 12 years just on the Lions? And as a Lions fan, I can say, yes, you can. That's basically
you can do
what
a
it
lot
was.
of it.
He was awesome. I mean,
was.
like he was, as I've told you, my second favorite player of all time in the NFL to Barry Sanders. I was like, we have a quarterback. It's such a shame that we don't have a team around him.
One of the most disrespected players of this generation.
Yes,
in my opinion.
Agreed.
That's what I would say.
Which happens when you don't win. When you're not a franchise that loses all the time, it's tough to stand out.
And when you don't win, but then you win more than you should because the player's too good, right? We have this conversation all the time, right? Like Michael Jordan before he got Scottie Pippen. Oh, there's one he keeps getting to the conference finals or the Eastern Conference semifinals and can't get over the hump. And it's like, well, like they probably shouldn't even be in the playoffs. They're just there because of Michael Jordan, right? Or LeBron getting to the finals a few times where you're like, this team was like the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference, but they have LeBron. And now they're in the finals and they lose 4-1 and everybody goes, oh, LeBron can't win the finals. It's like, no, nobody like 3 guys in history could have brought that team to the finals, right? Yeah. It's almost a gift and a curse being that good.
That's a good way
and
to
like
put
there's
it.
so many years where I was like, they were on the fringe of the playoffs or they got in the playoffs and lost in the first round. I'm going, that team was like average as dishwater. Like, what you guys would expect?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a 7. It was a 7-10 or a 6-10 team at the time that were going, whoa, they're 9-7 and they're in the playoffs, right? And it's like, yeah, they're there because of one reason, that guy.
And he had Megatron there for a good chunk of that, and so those two obviously were able to carry them. They've just never had a defense, even including last year. It was just like they never had
a running game. That was
that's a
he
great
never
point
had
too.
that.
All right,
Never.
so you have had respect for Stafford for a long time. He, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the only quarterbacks to be in the top 10 each of the past 5 years for you.
Okay.
So you love him. You respect him. You know who else respects him? C.J. Stroud, your number 7 quarterback. He was on the $1 million worth of game. I don't want to disrespect the podcast. Talking about this very topic, Matthew Stafford.
I'm a student of the game. Stafford a dog.
He is a dog.
No, you don't understand, bro. You saying that. That's all I watch. I don't watch nobody else. I watch Mahomes at times because Mahomes does some stuff that like you can't coach. Stafford, dog, he will beat you with the same thing every time. All that no-lick stuff, I got that from bruh. Like literally, that's one of my big. Like I'm a fan of his. Like
And
when I
he's
go to
a great
LA,
quarterback.
I be trying to find, bro.
But
Like, we
it's
got
a
the same
level to
trainers. I be
greatness.
trying to like go to where they working out and just watch.
That's all I'm
He
saying.
elite, dog.
Like Charles Barkley.
If you hold on. If you give Matthew Stafford a chance like Aaron Rodgers, I guarantee he might have had more rings for sure.
Well, but first of all, C.J. Stroud is built for this time. Like he is built for the
He's gotta be
media
careful.
landscape. You think?
Yes.
You think he's
He's getting a little too loose. He's gonna get people in the NFL riled up, and they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is he?"
I feel like he's
to
unplussed
do
by
that?
that. I feel like he would not.
No,
care
I don't
about
know
that.
if he cares either. Obviously, because he's been doing it all. But again, he's gonna piss off Aaron Rodgers there for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And he's gonna piss off other veteran quarterbacks and be like, "Man, you just got in the league. Who are you to say about Rodgers or Stafford and stay in your lane?"
Yeah.
Right. He's gonna get that. So he's gonna get his backlash. Right. I just want him to be careful. That's all I'm saying. It's cool. It's great for us.
I don't want him to be careful. I don't want him to get boring. Do not get boring, C.J. Stroud. Continue to do what you do. But he loves Matthew Stafford. And he said there, he's like, that's all I watch. He goes, I watch a little bit of Mahomes, but Matthew Stafford, that's basically what he has molded his game. That's what he said in the podcast.
I mean, I'm not going to be mad at him. I mean, Stafford does so many great things. Stafford is so good. I'm telling you, like the NFL didn't even know how good Stafford was up in Detroit. As I've told you, when teams were kind of getting in Detroit was going to maybe trade for him and all that, right? Teams started to study Stafford, all of that. I had people like, dude, I've heard you talk about Stafford and I can't believe you're right. Like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, right, out of this guy. Like, it's the first time, and again, we say all the time, coaches are worried about their own team, the teams they're playing. Sometimes you might go 2-3 years without seeing, a guy on film,
sure, yeah.
right? Or like, hey, I'm an offensive head coach, and yeah, I know he's doing good over there, but you haven't really dove in and like looked at the nuance, and all of a sudden you do that and you go, whoa, right? That's what happened with Stafford. That's why, it went from hey, the Rams and the Lions are doing an inside deal to it got out, and there was 6 other teams that were like, wait, we've watched film now. We want to trade for Stafford too.
Yeah, what would your guy Kyle have done with Stafford and that 49ers team?
I mean, to me, this is where the special ones are special, right? Because they can run system, and then they can go outside a system and still make it look like it's a system, even though it's no, that wasn't the system. That was just a great play by the quarterback, right? That's where they're great. And that's sometimes where I think these guys get a bad rap, right? Oh, I don't you don't think Mahomes or Josh Allen couldn't listen to Kyle Shanahan and take that game plan on the field? Sometimes I think people think this group of guys we're talking about here, they can do all that stuff, right? So don't forget that. There's this special. You know one of the things I wrote about this dude? He's almost like the Phil Mickelson of football, right? Where he got every club. You know how Mickelson, you see him hit it with the upside down wedge, and he hits it up in the air and it spins backwards, and that's him. I feel like he's that guy. Oh, I'm behind a tree and 7 feet of grass. Watch this. I'm gonna play it off there, and I'm gonna swing like this, and I'll spin it over there to get it done. He's kind of that guy. At this point in his career, right? The mental feel for the game, the mental and the feel for the game through experience, and then the elite arm together, it's all peaking together right now, where he is right now. He's next level in what he sees on the field, where the problems are coming, how to avoid a problem. Oh, I'm about to be hit. Let me just put the ball in this spot. Oh my gosh, he completed it. Are you kidding me? That's insane. There's so many of those plays on film that it is insane. It really is, right? He let me see where I left off here. I talked about the leader. He's found the asshole in himself, is what I wrote down as my technical term there. And then, other than Mahomes or Allen, knows how to play a game or execute a play under pressure better than anyone, right? Just to execute the play. Wait, I got pressure. Oh no, the play's not going to come into total fruition, but I'm backpedaling and I'll throw a sidearm to Tutu Atwell for a 12-yard out route. And you're like, what? Oh my gosh, that was the perfect defensive call. The defense should have won, and it's first down for the offense, right? Yeah. Those 3 guys have so many of those plays where you're like, there's no way the offense should have won there, and they win. And that's because of their great talent and their brains. Also, because I know you want to interject here, let me just do 2 more things. The confines of the pocket, right? He is up there with, when I mean by that, throws within the confines. There's one guy that's better, and we'll hit on him in a minute, all right? But when I mean I got to move in the pocket. I'm not scrambling. I'm not running, right? But I've taken a deep drop, and now, I got a little pressure. And oh crap, I'm kind of starting to run. I see a gap. But as I'm starting to run, I see Cooper Kupp 25 yards down the field. And I'm still in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just all cockeyed, but no big deal. My arm's awesome. I'm across the field. Even though I was running to my right to 1 o'clock, I could throw the ball to 10 o'clock, 40 yards down the field, and really make it look like nothing.
Every position is a throwing position for Matthew Stafford.
That's the way to say it, Amon. That's the way I should have wrote that down.
So, and he did it, mentioned at the end of the year last year, and he did it against his 100-plus passer rating games at the end of the year were versus the Browns, versus Baltimore week 14, versus the Lions in the playoffs. And so here's a guy who did step up against the best and biggest competition that he had all season long. Here is career totals. 11th in passing yards all time. one spot ahead of John Elway. 11th in passing touchdowns, one spot ahead of Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton. 6th most fourth quarter comebacks, just ahead of Johnny Unitas, just ahead of Dan Marino. And this is what he's done the last 3 years with the Rams. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a Hall of Fame quarterback that we're watching, which speaks to why he is still, at this ripe old age, number 5 in the NFL.
That's right. He's a Hall of Famer for me. You know, first ballot, okay, maybe not. We know that. Maybe he needs to win another Super Bowl, you know, have another appearance, something like that. But there's no doubt that he's a Hall of Fame type of talent, and his career is better than people realize when you just got to unpack it. And then we always talk about context matters. And those teams he was in Detroit weren't that good, and they didn't help him all that much, right? He's not perfect, right? He can't scramble. He's one of the lesser scramblers. It's not bad, but it's not good as for what we think of right now, right? He does have such he's found the fine line. He's still a little crazy with decisions every now and then, or throws, because like all great guys, when you have an incredible arm, right, you just go, wait, I think I can make that throw and make that happen.
In the past.
And
probably.
he has,
yeah.
right. Now, he had, I would say, when he got to the Rams, it was still like, no, that's so stupid. I can't believe you threw that. That's crazy. You're stupid. Why would you throw that? Right?
17 interceptions, most in the NFL.
He's found the fine line of, like, okay, I'm taking a chance, and this is a little aggressive, but it's not stupid, right? I'm not going to be whirled around and then go, came back out of it, just Tasmanian devil, and then try to throw the ball down the field like he did that first year. I think when he was playing the Tennessee Titans, he did that one time, all right? But he does have great feel in the pocket. He never flinches. I mean, he's tough as hell, as you know. He's one of the greatest flickers in football. I mean, you talk about just like boom, like alligator arm, and the ball goes 40 yards, and he just drops it in a barrel, right? It's as pretty as him and Mahomes, I think, are the best in the game as that, right? And like I said, I think he's found that fine line of, you know, between aggressive and stupid. He can be too cute at times, right? Maybe no look for no reason. Why? The pocket's clean. We didn't have to throw it sidearm, right? Well, why did you do that? You missed the target. It was 2nd and 10. He was open for 12 yards, but you decided to throw sidearm fading away for some reason out of nowhere, and it was off target, right? There's just a little of that. But again, Matthew Stafford, respect him because he's damn good.
And the health every year is a question now. That is a question.
It is.
Like, will he? Like, he was able to make it through last year, playing 15 games, but
the wear and tear of those years in the Lions.
Can he do it?
Will it
year
catch
after
up to
year?
Him? Right.
I think we have some video of him at camp here recently. So he was drafted first overall in 2009. Only 2 players that were drafted that year are still playing and doing this: Matthew Stafford and Jets punter Thomas Morstead.
Wow.
Morstead's not doing this.
No, he's
not doing any of that.
You see, look, what did we just talk about? You got to practice this type of stuff. You got to practice it. The NFL, it's no more like, you know, hey, I'm the Dallas Cowboys and Troy Aikman, and I can protect it and throw the ball in the pocket perfect. The NFL is all about this stuff now. I mean, again, it's almost like if you don't do it, you're holding back the team.
Yeah,
that's really where we are. And of course, he's really special at it, and you got to work at it.
Yeah, if you get sacked by a green ball, you have no chance against Myles Garrett
exactly
and TJ
right.
Watt. So get out of the way of that
Right.
thing. Matthew Stafford, my love, number 5 in your top 40 quarterback.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching, homies. You know it's the off-season, but there's no off-season with Chris Simms Unbuttoned. It's the NFL. It goes all year around, all right? So hit subscribe, please, to hear my thoughts on your favorite team, your favorite quarterback, and, hey, how this season might unfold as we get ready for the 2024 season. We got a better picture, clearer look now that the draft is over, free agency. We know who's playing quarterback for certain teams. So, again, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. Check you out soon.